Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that Surewinder is still selling amazing products. Some of you guys have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. If your shoulder hurts, do not waste time. Pull the trigger. I just bought 4 or 5 of them, and we had 2 guys out. You know how much it cost me to pay for 2 guys being out with bad shoulders? We just pulled the trigger and we said, listen, everybody's going to have one on a truck. It's mandatory. You got to use it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till your guys go down. It's going to cost you more. Buy a Surewinder.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Torsion Talk podcast. We are doing things a little bit different today. Ryan is out, and so I'm here all by myself with a special guest this afternoon. My name is Tamara. I'm usually Ryan's co-host, but today I just get to be the host, which feels pretty good. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I am super excited because I get to sit down and talk to our guest today, Bill Yuss. Bill is an old hand in the industry, and he's got a lot of experience, and he's super excited to talk to us about a couple of things, safety in particular, which I'm super excited about. I know in GDU that's been the focus of several conversations lately, and something that we could all benefit from hearing. So Bill, do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and kind of your background in the industry?
Sure, absolutely. Oh, I love talking to door guys. I mean, door
Me
guys,
too. They're great.
It's been in my blood since I was 15 years old. Okay.
Nice.
Thanks for having me. My name is Bill Yuss. I started when I was 15 years old, and I got into the door business because I ran into a garage door when I was pumping gas. The long story short is I was getting 80 cents an hour, and in the 70s, that's all you get in those days.
Right.
And I was pumping gas, and I ran into a garage door. They had one of those old-fashioned aluminum garage doors, Amoco gas station to be exact. Okay.
Okay.
They're just still out there. Anyways, because I ran into it, I was my conscience bothered me, and I knew I had to fix it, okay? Because I was putting a tow truck in at midnight every night, and the tow truck boom hit the top of the door and it bended in. Oh. I called 5 door companies, and 3 of them responded. Only 2 said they would come out, and it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I didn't have that kind of money, not when you're only making 80 cents an hour.
Right.
So I went and I ended up staying all night until morning hours, and I fixed it myself.
Wow.
At
that's
6
awesome.
a.m., the owner of the gas station came and asked me, what am I still doing here? And I said, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I ran into the door. I called door companies, but I couldn't leave it like that. So I ended up fixing it myself, and he tried it, and he said, man, this door works better than even before. It stays up now. I've never touched the door.
Natural from the very beginning. Wow.
Yeah. So I ended up saying, I'm going to the door business. There's money in it. And I never finished my college degree. I ended up doing garage doors since I was 15 years old. So 51 years I've been doing this, and on and on. I'll make the story real short or long, whatever. But I started out with my own company when I was 16 years old, and it was called B&L Door Company, which was Bill and Linda, which was my ex-wife. But anyways, so we started up, and I did that for the first 10 years, and it did great. I mean, I was just making good money and profitable, and the customers were great. And of course, you have to give love in your business. Whatever you do, you always got to give love and patience, and you always do what you're saying you're going to do to the customer. If you don't, you're not going to get a repeat. Yeah. So it got so busy, I ended up buying a door company called Windy City Door Company. Windy City. Then I also bought General Garage Door Company and one other door, Darwin Door. So I bought 4 of them, and then I ended up saying, well, I'm going to make it and mold it into one big company. So I called it Pro Door Company in Chicago. Okay. And that was doing great. We had many trucks, 30-something trucks all over the city. We were doing good. Don't get me wrong. We were making money. Then 2008 came into place, of course, unfortunately, and it kind of hurt us. But luckily, I had the good foundation from all the years in the past. I was able to put up with it, but I only did it for a couple of years, because by 2010, it was getting hard for me to recover from what we lost from 2008 was not easy.
Right.
We were losing a lot.
Yeah.
And of course, I had a partner, and I'm not
that
going to
always complicates things, doesn't it?
Partners are not always great, and I'm not going to mention names or anything, but partners are not always the greatest way to go. Yeah. Because you can't do things spontaneously on your own, the way you want them, how you want them, and with your, you know what I'm saying? Because we all have a goal in life, and when somebody else stops your goal,
when there's
puts you in a spot, And now you got to go in a different direction. And sometimes that other direction wasn't what your goal was, and it's not as profitable.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
So then by 2014 or 2013, I couldn't handle it no more. It was a struggle. Chicago was not easy to work in because the taxes were high. The crime rate was high. I would get robbed a couple times a year in the alleys all the time because I was working in the bad alleys, but I was in the south side of Chicago. That's what you do. You work in the hood, you make money, but you have to sacrifice all the downfalls. But luckily I never got killed or hurt. Otherwise I wouldn't be here today.
Yes.
But I got robbed many times. But every time I got robbed, I was fortunate to apprehend the guys. I always had a gun.
Wow.
And two guys I put in jail for 20 years each because I was streetwise. I know. And you look around, and when you know something's going on, I knew all the good, and I knew all the bad.
For the suspicious characters.
But that's because when I was small, I had to live on my own because my mom and dad died when I was a kid.
Oh wow. So
I had to always learn how to survive on my own, unfortunately. But you know what? It's okay. It made me a stronger person.
Yeah.
At the same token, I wish I had a mom and dad the way so many people have. It's okay though. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
And
I
mean, that's especially hearing that, not having anyone growing up and coming to, you started your own business when you were 16. That's a pretty incredible feat. You're a unique person for sure.
So there is an end of the rainbow. I didn't think there was, because by 2013, I was ready to fold everything up. I was ready to give up on everything.
Yeah.
I wasn't making money. My partner was forging my signatures and taking money out of the account, and because he knew I had some money saved and he didn't, and things were happening. And I went to the lawyer and I says, what can we do?
Yeah.
He said, Bill, you got your dignity and you got your health. Walk away. I went and I signed my papers over, and I walked away with nothing but a car.
Oh, wow.
Tennessee, a car full of tools. And I went to Tennessee, and thank God my wife was behind me, because it was not easy, because not many women would stand up for it.
Starting over from scratch.
So I went to Tennessee in 2014. We did, I should say, not me, and then started a new door company. Well, before I started door, let me go back. I went to Tennessee, and I said, I will never do another door again. I'm done with the door business. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm done. I've had it because I was upset with everything. Okay, with the money, with this, that, with working hard, never making a profit. So I got into the car dealership. I said, honey, I love cars, I love sales, I love customers. So let me sell cars. So I did that for about 3 months. I came home. I said, I can't do it. It's just the worst thing. You got to lie. You got to go into. Not all car dealerships are liars. Don't get me wrong, but
no, sure.
You have to. It's not the same. It's not the same. You can't put your love into it like the way you want it. I came home and I said, honey, I'm starting the door business. And she goes, get out of your crate. And I said, no, I'm starting the door business. I got to do it again. Out here, it's different. The people are beautiful, and I think I could make it this time. So I opened up a new door company called Pro Door Doctors. And of course, I only had one truck, and I went to the bank and I got a loan on it. I maxed it out because I had no credit, and they were charging me 9-10% because when you left Chicago, I left with nothing. When you file chapter, you're gone. You don't have nothing in your pocket or nothing.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the way it is. And I'm not too embarrassed to say it now. I was embarrassed then, but I'm not now. So I came to Tennessee with nothing. I bought my first pickup truck. Okay. I ended up doing a few doors in the neighborhood, and I got on Facebook page. I talked to people. They knew that in my heart, I loved what I did. And I was like 59 years old. But I'm saying to myself, I don't have a retirement. I have no money. I don't have a life. What do I do? But it's not over with. I says, I got to make it. So I put myself into high gear.
Yeah.
When I went to high gear, I ended up opening this company. I ended up starting doing doors. Before you know it, I had 2-3 jobs a week. I come home, my wife goes, that's all you got, just week 3. I said, it's okay. The next week it was 4 jobs or 5. Then the week after that was 6 jobs a week. It was getting, within a year and a half or 2 years, I was getting 20 to 40 jobs a day.
Wow.
I hired people, then I hired more people, then I bought more trucks, and I was paying cash for the trucks because my credit was no good.
Yeah.
But I was making enough profit where every time I make enough, I'd buy another truck.
Right.
And I kept doing it, kept doing it. Then before you know it, I got all these trucks. So I ended up, oh, you don't want to know our revenue, but it was great. It was in the millions. Okay. And by last year, I said to myself, either we got to build a building, which we could pay for probably cash, buy a
Wow.
new warehouse, or I could sell the company and let's just retire, because now I'm 60 something years old. It's like, do I really want to work until I'm 80?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work till 80. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
well, there's more to the story. So yes and no. So anyways, I went out and I put it on open market, my business, about 6 months ago.
Mhm.
I had 4 door companies, actually 5 door companies. Everybody was bidding on my company. They all wanted, because when they see my numbers, they couldn't figure out how I was doing.
Right.
I was making tons of money. And I had, and the whole town loved me. There's not one, you type my name in Facebook in that town, and there isn't one person that didn't like me. They all love me. It was the greatest feeling. I come home every night and I thank God. I'm like, man, this is where I should have been all my life.
And to have started like with nothing, not too many years before then, right? Like how, so you said 2013 is when you started over? So
Well,
10,
2014 is when I came out here to
that's
Tennessee.
less than
And
10
then in
years.
2015, after I got fed up with the car dealership, was when I really officially opened up the door company.
Right.
So in 2015 to 2023 is when it all went and exploded. It went crazy. Yeah.
That's
It
amazing.
helped out that I was in a community that was growing.
Yeah. Sure.
rapidly, and there was no other door companies.
Right.
So
That makes a difference, right?
It helped a lot too. Don't get me wrong, but also it was that you put love into it, And
Yeah.
you do stress the word love, because you have to put that into it. You have to.
One thing I have noticed about door guys is that they're all full of love. Like they have so much compassion and heart and empathy for people, and they really do.
Yeah.
You guys love, and I feel like this is a business. It's dirty work. You have to love it to stick with it.
You really do.
Yeah. So, I mean, and being a business owner on top of that is not the most fun job in the world. How big was your staff when you sold the company?
We had 10.
10.
But,
Okay.
but we were expanding. We needed 10 more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were I was holding back, and at that time it wasn't fair to the company.
Sure.
Does that make sense to you? I really
Yeah,
needed
absolutely.
a lot more, but I couldn't do it because I was real nervous.
Yeah.
I was coming home shaken. I'm like, I can't deal with this anymore. There's just too much going on, too much money going in and out, too much money going out. And
It's
when
a lot.
when you're in your late 60s, it's not as easy. Your nerves are not as nice as when you're in the 40s.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it was okay, but it wasn't fair to the company. And I says,
Right.
You gotta let it go. So me
Yeah.
and my wife talked it over, and we decided to sell it. And I didn't want to, but it was a great thing to do, because I feel so much more relaxed now because of it.
And you said you're still doing consulting for them. So
I'm still doing consulting for that.
You haven't
company.
closed the door completely on it.
Well, that's number one. But then what I ended up doing, I took a little bit of that money that they gave us, and I bought myself a Florida beach house.
Nice.
With my own, right here on the Gulf. I could look out the Gulf right now, and I see my boat in the backyard.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's my first excursion. I'll be taking my boat out into the.
Oh, how exciting!
I'm nervous about it, but yeah. It's a big
You
boat.
gonna do fishing or just cruise on it?
No, just the first day. We're going to see if the boat runs okay, and we have to make sure we do it at high tide. I got to learn so much about the waters.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm doing right now. But at the same time, I don't want to give up working. So, between the consulting, and I thought about opening up a door company in Florida, but then the last minute, I'm not sure if I want. I might just do things like this, teach people.
What part of Florida are you in?
It's called Newport Richey.
Okay. Okay.
Right
How far is that from St. Augustine?
Oh, it's about a half hour.
Okay. If I have a very good friend in St. Augustine who's got a door company, and I can connect the two of you if you'd like to. He's real great.
I would like to connect with them, and maybe I could teach them a little knowledge, and maybe they'll want me to work for them a little bit.
And he also goes fishing all the time. Like
oh my God, we may have a lot in common then.
I know.
This will be great. He's
real young too, so I think it'll.
He's real awesome. Then you give him my number. I would love to talk to him. Okay. Yeah, but that's my goal, is to be on the water quite a bit and do consulting. And I was going to think about opening a door company, but then I said to myself, well, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just help other door companies and work for them a little bit.
Yeah.
This way, there's no obligations, and I could leave. They could leave. They could say, Bill gave me a lot of knowledge, and he passed on a lot of information. Maybe I could just teach them how to be safe.
Yeah.
Doing garage doors, because safety is a big issue in the door business. Let's face it. I got 51 years. I still have all my fingers. I have everything. I've never got hurt. One time I fell off of a ladder, but that was my own stupidity. And since then, I've learned how to walk up the ladder and not put it in the wrong angle. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful on everything you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And I know that was something that you wanted to talk about. So what do you think what do you think people are missing the most when it comes to safety in doing garage doors?
Well, okay, damage for doors, number one. Number two is getting hurt. Well, let's go back. On a ladder, number one, safety. When let's say you're working at an oil change place, a lubrication place, the ground is always a little bit slick.
Right.
Or the concrete, if you see it's wet, don't put the ladder in a 45. You have to put it less of a 45. Or number two is, if you need to put it at 45, because there's a pit down there where they do the oil changes for any reason, tie a rope to the bottom 2 steps of the ladder and to the wall, and then the ladder won't slip out.
Smart.
You got to. It takes only 2 seconds more. And I always keep the ropes in my truck, because that's what I tell my guys. I said, it just takes 2 more seconds. Otherwise, you fall down, you hit your head, you might go through the glass window, whatever it is. You don't need that. 2 more minutes of safety might save your finger one day, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
But ladder is number one, is how you situate the ladder. I'm not afraid of ladders, because I'd learned how to respect the ladder, but the ladder knows how to respect me when you have it the right positioning, and when you control yourself, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah. So ladders are number one. Number two is winding a spring. Of course, that's going to be a big issue, because a lot of people, I've seen them, they take it for granted. They think it's in a hole and they're getting ready to do it now. Just take your time, wiggle it, make sure it's in that hole real good before you wind it to the next hole.
Yeah.
I've seen these young kids, they get anxious and they just go, but sometimes they don't put it all the way in a hole, because the winding bars, sometimes they don't fit in there real good, especially if your winding bar is in your truck and it's got a little bit of rust on the shaft. And if it does, it won't go all the way into the hole where it's supposed to, the full 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
And if it only goes in 1/4 of an inch or whatever, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah. One of the things that Ryan always talks about is slowing down when you're in the garage, and not just really paying attention and focusing, and not just going through the motions and checking things off of a list, because it is like, if you think about it, like, it's the heaviest moving part in your whole house. Like, it's very dangerous, and the guys are in the garage working all the time. And if they're being overloaded with, 8 calls a day that they've got, and rushing from one job to a next, like, that's a big issue.
You don't want to do that. I mean, I did that because because I had, each one of my crew had 10 or 12 jobs a day. It was rough. It was not easy. But I told my guys, if we don't get it, we'll get it tomorrow. Do 10 jobs and do them good, and take your time. And every single job that you do, when you're done with the whole, even if the customer is not out in the garage with you, ask them to come out. If you have them work with you, they love it. When I say work with you, we're saying, ma'am, we're going to do a safety check right now. I see there's a bike in the garage. You have children, you have dogs. I could see by looking at the items in your garage. Let's see this safety check, because we don't want this door to come down and kill a child or a kid or a dog or your animal or whatever. And I says, I'm going to have you control the button in the wall, ma'am, and I'm going to go and do the pressure test. Then I'm going to do the safety check, and then I'm going to do the photo-wise check. And after I do all the checks, I go, ma'am, this pressure is like over 100 pounds. It would have bent this door up, and I readjusted it and showed her. Are you serious? So she is they love you for it, because they know you care about their family as well, and you're looking for safety. But you got to let them in on it, and let them be in the garage when you're doing it, so they're watching you do it, and they know that it's important. You just don't do it and come out, here's your bill, because they don't know what you did otherwise. You want them to be part of that participation at the end, right before you give them the bill.
Consistency in everything, including price, reliability, quality, not just quality, but great quality control. These are things that describe Sommer USA. Sommer's not some startup company, not one that you need to be worried about going out of business in the near future. Sommer and their family of businesses are $200 million companies. They're in over 100 countries, and they have locations in 20 countries. This is a large organization who stands behind their product and works through integrity. And there's not another company out there willing to drop what they're doing and help you out like Somer. These guys are awesome. Not only have they been loyal to the Torsion Talk podcast, they've been loyal to the technicians and the owners of the companies who install their product. In my opinion, if you're not at least offering Somer as an additional option, you're cheating yourself. Listen, first-time dealers, I've got a special for you. If you buy 10 or more Somers, while supplies last, we will offer you free shipping. You have no more excuses. The prices are great. The product is amazing. Go check out Somer USA and order 10 for free shipping.
Yeah, and that builds value too, right? Like you're charging for that service, and how are they going to know what you did and what you didn't if you don't make it clear to them? I checked all these things. Here's what I found, and I strongly agree that educating the customer is a huge value add and it's something easy to do, right? You're building rapport with the customer. You're strengthening those relationships because we want to be less transactional and more relational when we're dealing with our customers. So for sure. Yeah, I think that's great. Awesome.
I did one more thing that always helped my glass company too. When you get older, you love children more because you could respect them because you're a grandfather, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you treat them like they're your grandkids. So when I went, you're gonna laugh at me, but when I go into a garage and after I'm all done and I know they got bikes and the little kids, I just love interacting with them and their family just a little bit, not much, but I'll have a bag of toys or dolls, and I'll say, here, I'll ask her little child to come out and say, pick out a toy.
Aw.
So I give them all a little toy, and you know what? They think of you not only as a door guy, but as not as Santa, but as a door guy. Wow, they'll remember it.
Yeah, that's such a brilliant idea, actually. Like, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because how like go to Walmart and get, spend $100 on toys, and how cool is that? Like no contractor comes to your house and gives your kid a toy. Like as a parent, that's awesome.
But you have to know your distance. You have to be careful, right, because the world is crazy now. And because of that, there's some weirdos and so you have to make sure you're very professional in how you do it. That's true. It's just so weird that before I was able to do it and it's nice, but now you got to do it
in arm's distance. Yes.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I still have a bag of toys that I haven't given out yet, but one day I'll figure it because I'm done doing doors now. So
I doubt very highly you've spent your last afternoon in a garage. Like I think that I can see that you're itching to just, get
I want to go back out and do a few repairs here and there. I want to go out there. Yes.
I love that. Well, so another big topic that I want to kind of pick your brain about is, so I know that things are slowing down for a lot of our door companies right now, especially in new door sales, and residential is, also they're hurting. So having been in the industry as long as you have, are there any advice that you would give to people that are going through that right now to kind of, either get more jobs in or to strengthen, like you talked about how you started with such a strong foundation of your company. And that's how kind of you were able to last as long as you did through the last recession. What did that foundation look like? Like, what are the things that you did that you feel helped you get through that?
Okay, good question. Well, you have to diversify. When I say diversify, sometimes you have to expand your offerings to the customers. Beside garage doors, maybe do gate repairs, or maybe you do, you know what I'm saying? Because automated gate repairs are kind of in the same industry as garage doors to a point, you know what I mean? Right. But you have to know a little bit about gates, because the gates are very complicated or complex.
Yes, that's so I hear. We've got one particular person that we always talk to about gates, and he's like, it's a different animal.
It really is, but if you know a little bit of electronics, you could do it. And if you're mechanically inclined, you could do it. And if you're a door guy, I'd say 80% of the door guys could probably do it if they were taught a little bit, just
Yeah.
a little. But that would be one thing, is to diversify into that and just help out there. But I'm not saying that's what you should get into, because it's a very hard field to get into.
Yeah.
I wouldn't 100% advise doing that, because doors is what you were trained in. Stick with that if you could. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would do before you diversified into that, excuse me, would be to go out and do some field, walk around and talk, give out a lot of business cards, stop at gas stations, stop at car washes, stop anywhere you can, and say, hi, I'm new in the neighborhood. I'd love to, possibly earn your business indoors. And you could stir up a lot of business by doing that. I would stop at 8 to 12 a day. And it would help me get an extra 1 to 2 more crews of trucks working for me just by doing that.
Nice. That makes it, and we can touch back on that, but how, so you said you at one point had a staff of 10. What did you do? Where did you find success in hiring technicians?
Oh, that's hard.
It is hard, right?
That's hard anywhere.
No one knows where they come from.
Especially in Tennessee, because Tennessee is growing by the millions. I don't know if you heard, I mean, there's a few other states that are growing too, but Tennessee, certain parts of Tennessee is growing so fast, and there's not enough door guys for the demand. Okay. And all these big companies know this, and they're all trying to get in now, but they couldn't get in because I already had the market pretty much tight. And a good percentage of Tennessee, that's why they all wanted me out. Okay. And they were all happy when I said I'm selling.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm getting off track. What was the question you said?
So we were talking first about
I'm an old guy, so please, I forget things.
No. We were talking about how you brought your business through the recession, and then also how you were able to find technicians.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's what I would do. I'd go out there and hit the pavement, they call it, and start a lot of business cards, get tons of business cards, and stop at places and talk to people and make sure you look good that day and presentable. And you're going to get a lot. You're going to get maybe 1 out of every 10. But it's great, because that means you're getting 1 more customer or 2 more customers every day, and a lot of them are repeats.
Sure.
So go hit the pavements. That's what I say. There's nothing wrong with hitting the pavements,
There's not. And especially when it's slow, and especially if you've got staff, like, instead of people standing around, if they don't want to,
you got to give them something to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that it's not like the most fun thing in the world to ask your technicians to go and knock on doors, but Ryan's mentioned on the show before that he did it when he was starting Air and Overhead Doors. They went and papered neighborhoods with door hangers and talked to people. And I think that's overlooked now, or maybe looked down on a little bit as a method of marketing, really. But I think that there's nothing wrong with it. And if you do it right, it increases your personal connection with the people that you're going to be serving. So
I'm going to give you one more secret that I don't mind giving it now, but I didn't want to give it before.
I love secrets. You can tell me.
And it's okay. And you're going to love this. And I'm sure everybody else out there listening is going to love this. A little sticker next to the button on the wall in the garage will go such a long way.
Yeah.
Most door guys don't even do that. Number 1 is, aren't you proud of your job? Number 2 is, don't you want to repeat? I remember 25, 30 years ago, once I needed my furnace fixed. I didn't know who to call, and I seen the sticker on the furnace. I'll just call them. And ever since then, I says, man, do not leave that house without a sticker next to the button on the wall. Every day they're going to see it with a little smiley face and your name and your phone number. And that's all you got to do. And they're going to always remember you. And then the neighbors you should see on Facebook, they take pictures of that sticker on the wall, and they will give it to them. Here, I know this guy, because otherwise they're not going to look in their phone book and try to find your number or on your cell phone, because it's hard to find. Let's face it, we lose numbers all the time.
Right. Yeah. I know that a lot of the guys so they use a CRM system to manage their jobs, and the technicians have to go. That's how they do their quoting and invoicing and everything on their iPads. So in this software, like they will actually make it mandatory for the technician to take a photo of the sticker that they've placed just to make sure that it's getting done. So, because like I said, technicians, service professionals, Ryan's been calling them, have a tendency to rush through things sometimes and just want to, you know, get things checked off the list. But that is so absolutely important to put a sticker, because
I like that idea. We're taking a picture. That's what I probably should have my guys do, but most of them did stickers because, oh, I know what we're talking about. How do you get employees? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking, and I kind of let off on some other.
No,
Okay.
you're fine.
It was not easy getting employees, but when I did find a few good ones, they would tell other people, and you treat them really with special care. You know, Christmas time, take care of them, days off. If there's a few extra holidays, don't hurt them. Those are your guys. Those are the ones that are going to make you money.
Right.
Don't hurt them. Don't say, no, don't cheat them. Give them a little extra.
Yeah.
A little extra is going to go a long way. So don't just treat them like a door guy that makes so much an hour and that's it.
Yeah.
Because they're more than that. They're your bread and butter too, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because so I shared my profits with my employees in the last year. I'm not going to lie to you. I was making really a great profit. And so every month I would take 10% of my profits, and I didn't have profit share or nothing. I would just give bonus checks to my employees.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they were like, wow. So toward the end, they were looking forward to it all the time, because now I could buy a refrigerator, I could buy a washing machine. And it was just a great feeling. And I know they gave back a million times more than that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So when I sold the company, they miss out on that. I know, but they're working for a good company now. Hopefully the new company is going to go and treat them well and take good care of them. Most of them stayed. A few of them did not stay with the new company.
Yeah, that usually happens.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's okay though.
Yeah, everybody has to walk their own path.
So by me getting employees, the best way to do it is you treat the ones you do have with respect, take good care of them, give them a little extra, even if it's out of your own pocket. They're going to tell their friends, say, go with this guy, Bill. He's amazing. He's a good guy. He's a family business, and he's not going to go. He doesn't make me feel like I'm a number or a corporation. He makes us feel like we're a family.
So that's interesting, because it sounds like your culture is what attracted people to work for you. And I know that that's a big thing, that Ryan is a huge proponent of company culture. And that's something that has changed in his business over the last few years. And now when you talk to his staff, it's the same thing. They're like, it's like a big family, and they're all working towards the same goals. And it's, you know, and it's because they care about each other, and they're, you know, we take care of the people that work for us. So I think that that's great advice. I'm glad you shared that with us.
Thank you. Yeah, it means a lot. And that's how I got additional employees. But the only bad fall about this is that all the new employees didn't know anything about doors. So I went out there, and my guys went out there. It took about 4 months to teach them the basics. Then all they could do is garage doors, or they can't do repairs right at the moment because they're not familiar with all the dilemmas that happen in the door business. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it took me time to do a lot of teaching.
Did you prefer hiring people with no experience and training them the way that you wanted them trained, or did you prefer to have them come in with experience?
Okay, that's 50-50. Let me tell you. I like the fact that the ones that came in and knew what they were doing, it's like awesome. But you know what? They wouldn't do it your way. They were doing it their way. And that's a big no-no, because I created this business for a reason, how I created it, and I molded it this way, and this is how you have to do it. And they didn't want to do it my way. So they came in and relieved me from a lot of pressure for a while, because they knew what they were doing, but they were also doing it their way, until my employees came in and I taught them my way. Then before you know it was done the way I wanted it. So and they left cordially. In other words, they didn't leave in a bad term, but it was the same token. It was better that they did leave, because training your guys is always better. I'm not going to lie to you, because you're teaching them the way you think it's the right way.
Yeah, I know a lot of the owners that I talk to feel the same way, and it's frustrating when you come in and you get a guy that has, it's great that he has experience, but they usually come with like some habits that you'd maybe rather them not have. So.
And I never thought that the habits would bother me, but then afterwards I realized, they're not good. They're habits that are not good.
Well, you work so hard to build your systems and processes, and you do things a certain way, and it's frustrating when, you know, people, oh, I just want to do it my way, which, I mean, there's a time and a place for that, to learn from your employees if they have that, you know, can do things more efficiently or update your process. So always be open to that. But some things like, no, there's a reason we do it this way, and here's what it is.
And doing it the right way. I mean, I don't mention names, but one of my employees that knew what he was doing, you know, he knew it all. Let's put it that way. He thought he did.
Yeah.
He would, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I come back to that job a week later and he puts flipper brackets on there. I don't know if you know what flipper brackets, low headroom bracket. You don't need those all the time. Those are probably the last resource. You should always either put double low on it the right way. There's so many different ways of doing it without always having to put flipper brackets. These flipper brackets can cause you problems where the door malfunctions in a year or two, or they're not the foolproof way of doing things. It's the last resource when you're in trouble. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
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 And they're not safe neither, because flipper bracket just means the door flips instantly while it goes up, but sometimes they come off the track, and it's just not the right way, not all the time, not for every application.
Yeah.
And he always saw flipper brackets. We were going through boxes of flipper. We don't need flipper brackets.
Why are they all gone all the time?
But it wasn't like he was taking them. It was just that he was using it when there's a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you decided to come on today, and I am super stoked that you shared so much of your knowledge.
Great. I wanted so bad to start doing podcasts and start sending my knowledge to all these young guys out there, because I remember when I was young, in my 20s, first starting out, there was a couple of door guys. They were my mentors, and I've learned a lot from them.
Yeah.
And I still know. One of them came to visit me about last year, I'm sorry, and he is 85 years old.
Wow.
And he said, Bill, he says, I remember teaching you. He says, I never thought that you would advance over me, but you were an amazing student.
Oh, what a blessing.
He's from Chicago. And I'll never forget it, because he was so patient with me. He taught me a few things. I'm like, wow, that's really good, because I was observing, but I was also a young, cocky 20-year-old, thought I knew it all too. Don't get me wrong. We all
were.
We all thought we knew it all. But by the time we're 30, we realized we don't know everything. There's a lot that we got to learn, you know?
Yeah.
But I was honored to have a gentleman that was teaching me when I was 18 or 20 years old, what he said to me. And he came to visit. He stayed at my house, visited me for a few days, and he's still alive till today, him and another guy. And it's just so nice to meet those guys from the past that were in the door business in Chicago.
And now you've picked up that torch and you're ready to mentor some young guns in the industry yourself.
And I am. And even if I want to travel, I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to travel yet. Like I said, it's the first 2 months that I'm not working. I've been working until 2 months. This is my first 2 months.
Oh.
So it's all new to me that I don't have a job.
I know. And I bet that's hard. If you're anything like me, like I'd be going nuts. Like I need to be productive. Like if I'm not working, then I'm working on something, you know? So.
Well, I'm busy now at my new beach house in Florida. So once I get this done in a few months, I'll be bored. I'll be looking for something to do. So I'll probably go back to teaching or traveling, or maybe do a lot more consulting. Like I said, I'm consulting for a one-door company right now, but I'm looking, my name's going to get out there. People know who I am, and I'll be happy to help them. I'm not looking to get rich, but I don't want to go for nothing either. We all need a few dollars, you know?
Sure. Yes.
So I'll be happy to come and visit state to state, and start doing some speaking. I have a college that wants me to go and speak in Centralia, Illinois in about another 4 months from now, to tell about my success story, about how you go from rags to riches, from poor to, I've been everywhere. I've been poor. I've had a lot of, it goes back and forth,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will get your contact information from you and put it in the show notes so that everybody can reach out to you if they want to chat or book you when you're available for booking, so we can get that information out for you. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience? Any last little tidbits before we hop off?
About the springs, about the safety, about the, can you think of any other topics that I didn't cover? Or there's a ton of topics.
No, I think we covered so much in such a short amount of time. You're just such a wealth of knowledge.
Thank you so much. I'm very, one more thing. It wasn't until about 10 years ago I found God. I mean, I wasn't a very good person when I was younger, because Chicago, where you live is how you feel in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wish I was born in Tennessee, because the love and the godliness I need to put that out there.
Yeah, I
God
love
took care of me.
it.
He was part of my success.
Oh, I love that. And I wish Ryan was here, because I know he would super appreciate that as well. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm so honored to have been able to talk to you today, and I hope that we can have you on again in the show in the future. For everyone listening, just a couple of little last tidbits. Ryan is still doing sales training in July. You can register at garagedoorU.com. We do still have Summit tickets available. Those are selling quickly. And we also are doing 2 scholarships to the Summit, which is in Lanier Islands in Atlanta in September. And so if you would like to be considered for the scholarship, we have 2 to give away. So you can send me an email, Tamara@suchmedia.co, and I can put your name in the pot to review. But thank you again, Bill, so much. I hope you have a great day. I'm so glad you were here with us. I'm sorry Ryan couldn't be here, but I think we still had fun.
You have a wonderful and blessed day yourself. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a good one. Bye.